Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen.
Hey, everyone.
We are welcomed today by, I'm so excited for this guest. This is just, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and we'll just dive into your story.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Beth. I'm in Tennessee and I am an IP. So we're kind of going a little bit different. We're doing a traditional surrogacy.
Okay. And for those out there, what is a traditional surrogacy?
Well, instead of using my egg and my husband's sperm to make an embryo, she is actually the egg donor and carrying the child for us. So she will be the biological mother with my husband's sperm, in which we did a home insemination. So that's a whole lot of different too. So we had a whole lot of differences going on.
You did a home insemination? Yeah.
We did. We did.
How many of those did it take to get pregnant?
The very first one we did, we had the first one we did not get pregnant, but the second one we had a chemical.
Okay.
And so she wanted to continue right after the chemical was done, and I was kind of like, let's take a month, let's go. So our third try, and now we are 20 weeks and 4 days.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yay. Congrats. Do you know what you're having?
A boy, yes.
Is that what y'all wanted, or there was nothing?
We did not care at this point. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is this your first child, Beth?
No.
Okay.
So I have 3 grown children.
Okay.
My age, I'm 49. So I have a 30-year-old daughter. I have a 25-year-old son and a 23-year-old son.
Okay.
Oh my husband has no biological children. So it kind of started that we knew we wanted to have children. 13 years ago, I had twins, and they were both stillborn at 26 weeks.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then again, 10 years ago, I had a son that same time, 27 weeks. And we didn't know what was going on. So we found out that I had a medical condition, which is a whole different ball game. And so when we found that out, I have polycythemia vera anemia, which causes your blood to your red blood cells to cause blood clots. So there was blood clots in the umbilical cord constantly. So after that, I had a hysterectomy, and we kind of pretty much gave up hope of that was kind of going to be it. Then we tried adoption, and we had that fell through. So we waited a few years, and then we kind of was like, let's see what we can do. So that's kind of where we were at.
How did you hear about surrogacy? Had you always known about it, or?
I've always known about it. I think like I always had heard about doing it and things like that. And of course, back when it first started, it was traditional, and so it was very scary that someone would change their mind and things like that. So that was a big thing for us. And then, like I said, even with my hysterectomy, at first the doctor was like, we could still use your eggs, but the genetic component was too scary. And then at my age, so we decided that we would try traditional if or we were going to use the egg donor and go that route.
Okay.
The expense was just so much, and we were like, we don't know if we can do that. At that time, my youngest son was in college and everything, and so we were just like, he was going and getting his master's, and so and my 25-year-old son is autistic, and him and his wife live with us. So we have had a lot of loss with that. Both of my children, my 30-year-old, my daughter, and her son, they both have stillborn children. So, in the last, my other grandson just passed away January 26th will be a year. He was born stillborn. And then my daughter's was 10 years ago. So, so we just were like, not even wanting to try to use our eggs. So we decided to go ahead. And then we were like, well, we've been saving, and let's see about this. And we found a traditional surrogate, and right away we started having a lot of, she was not married, but she had a boyfriend. And there was a lot of red flags just
Okay.
constantly coming up. So we decided not to go that route. And one day I just decided, hey, I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to share our story. And I messaged everyone I knew. And it was so crazy. My cousin called me and she said, hey, I can't do this, but Paige has easy babies. Like she was like, my sister, she's always talked about wanting to do this. And she said, I can't imagine her not wanting to do this for you. While I was talking to her, her sister called me and was like, hey, can we have dinner tomorrow?
Oh,
I want to do this.
oh,
And
goosebumps everywhere, Beth.
and
Goosebumps.
so it was just that, it was just the next day, like out of the blue, I was like, hey, we're gonna go meet Paige and her husband. And so the next day we did, and she was like, hey, let's do this. And we went to the doctor and she got checked out and we had done all this. And our doctor is the one that said, hey, you all are both very healthy. She's had no problems with pregnancy. You might want to try home insemination. And so we did. And that was kind of how that got started with that one. That they were like, my doctor's a bit of was a friend and was like, hey, this might save you all a lot of expenses.
Yeah.
And you could try it. So we did. And like I said, our first cycle that we tried was they were actually on vacation. So we were transferring and it was the distance, it was time period.
Okay.
Then the next time was just boom, right away she got pregnant. So.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
So no meds were needed then.
No meds, nothing.
Golly.
That's
Nothing.
awesome.
I mean, she
That
she was not on any birth control, so we didn't have to wait for that to get out of her system. She has three daughters.
Okay.
She has a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Oh, she's
So my biggest concern was, what if it's a boy? Like, because I know you want a boy. She was like, then that's what God wanted you all to have, and
Oh,
I'm okay. So,
oh.
yeah. So it was like literally from the time we started to the time she got pregnant was, we were at 72 days.
Are you kidding?
Even with the chemical, in between that.
And when you say chemical, can we revisit that? Because no
Yes.
meds, right? So chemical.
Right. Well, here's what we were not going to test until she missed a period. We were just,
Okay.
that way we didn't get our hopes up. But she had never had a miscarriage. She had never had any problems.
Yeah.
Well, we tested before. And it was so funny because she texted me. She was like, I just did an LH just to see what it was going to be. And she said, it turned darker than my line right away. She's like, so I took a pregnancy test. And so she was pregnant.
Okay.
Well, all week it was getting darker. But then she started bleeding.
Okay.
About a week and a half passed. And we went and she still had a positive pregnancy test at that time, but the beta within 48 hours had dropped instead of increasing.
Okay.
So we knew we were having that.
Okay.
She started her period right on, like I said, she was ready to go the next month. And we were like, let's take a month. Well, she ended up having 2 periods that month. So she's like, it says I'm ovulating. So I was like, okay, we'll try. And literally 8 days past conception, we got a positive digital pregnancy.
Wow.
So,
are you just over the moon, Beth? Are you just?
It is kind of been like crazy, and it's been so easy. I guess that we didn't expect the chemical. I guess that was probably a really heartbreaking. And I was with her at the hospital when and the good thing is she lives here with us. She lives in the same town. We constantly speak a couple times a day. But I was at the hospital with her, and I think she was more upset than me because she was just like, she had let us down. She was like, nothing has ever went wrong. I don't understand. And they were like, chemical pregnancies are missed all the time, and people just don't even know it.
Right.
And so, and I felt bad for her. So I was like, maybe you need some time to really think if this is emotionally, because like I said, she was just heartbroken for us. And so but yeah, she wanted to go right ahead, and so we did. So
Golly, that's amazing. So you're halfway, right? A little over
yeah, we're
halfway.
halfway.
Oh,
We're halfway. We actually have our anatomy scan Wednesday. So
Yay!
um
Good luck with
so
that.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and
So
have you seen him on ultrasound and stuff yet?
Oh, is
actually,
that him in the back?
can you see it in the back?
Yes,
We have like that.
It.
Yes,
Oh, that's
my
awesome.
daughter, if you can see, it says our boy on there, but my daughter told me the other day, she said, we got to get another pegboard because I have a whole drawer of ultrasounds. And she's like, there's not enough room for it.
Oh,
And I'm like, well, we'll just put one up at a time. So, but yeah, that's kind of there.
Beth,
So,
how are your adult children? They're gonna have
my
a baby
adult children, okay, my, my daughter at first, she was just, they've all been supportive.
good.
My son Zane is my middle son, and like I said, he's autistic. Him and his wife, and they just lost their son a year ago. I was more worried about them. I was more worried because they live with us, so I
Right.
was worried this is going to be a big thing. But he is so excited. He is, every he comes in there every day. He's like, "Mom, my little brother's going to have to do it this way," and I'm like, "Well, we can do it different ways. We don't." So he's really excited, and we're redoing our room now. We're actually taking we have a huge walk-in closet, and we're making that a nursery, so he's right beside us now. So we're redoing that.
Oh,
And so
good.
they're my son-in-law's doing all the work for us, and they're all very excited. My youngest son is nervous. Baby's for him, all he saw is loss.
Yeah.
Like I said, all the three that I lost were boys, and my other two were boys. My grandsons were both boys. So for him, he's just like, I don't even know if I want to have kids. And he's a teacher, and he's an eighth grade teacher, and he loves kids, but he's just like, I don't know. And so the other day when he went with us, and we had went to the doctor and stuff, and then afterwards I was eating, he was like, this looks like it might happen. Like everything's healthy, but he's still really,
Reserved.
really, really guarded with that. But like I said, for them, it's kind of like we want this and everybody's excited, but then for all of us, we're trying to be cautious
Right.
and know this, but everything is looking healthy and great. So, I want to be so excited, but then it's also, like I said, they're excited for us. But it is kind of cautious in that point for them. But yeah, Nicholas is very on guard about it. So
This little boy is going to
Yeah.
be so loved. He will never not know what it's like to not feel love.
I said it's kind of like he's going to have four sets of parents
A little bit.
instead because like Asia and her husband, my daughter and stuff, she's like, they're here, and she does a lot for my son when I'm at work and things. So it's like that. And then Zane and Nicholas doesn't live here, but we're like, when Nicholas comes, Nicholas is always going to be, he's just very by the book. He's just very good with children. Like I said, he's a teacher. And so we feel like there's different sets and there's different ways that everybody's going to play roles. But then again, I think it's all going to be very close because all my children are very close. Like we are together a lot. So, so it's going to be great. It's just going to be a new thing. I think I realize every day now. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. When I was sick a couple of weeks ago, and I was like this. I'm older, and I'm not like. It's like having a first baby again because there's so many things have changed. They're doing things and products and different things. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a question. This is traditional and you know this woman. So did you guys sign contracts?
we did.
Okay.
We went ahead, but Tennessee does, because it's a traditional.
Okay.
It would, and honestly, they would not fight the contract.
Okay.
We did a contract for our being, and our lawyers kind of told us we mainly did the contract in case something happened to my husband during the pregnancy, we don't think anything would, but
Oh,
that would be a thing because I would have no right. So that
right.
was our concern, was that if something did happen, just
Sure.
randomly, then what would we do? Um, but so we did and signed that, and like I said, we have been blessed that, you know, the other day I took her some clothes and she was like, "You don't have to do
Oh,
that." I'm like, "No, we do," because,
oh,
so she's really cautious with not wanting us to spend and do things. And we're like, "No, we want to do that." So but yeah, so in the state of Tennessee, because it is traditional,
yeah.
it'll be a step parent adoption.
Okay.
Is how we
Okay.
will do it.
So there is no
Um,
pre-birth judgment, right? You can't do that.
right.
Okay.
There is not
Okay.
with
So her
traditional
name will go on for those who might
on
not
the first
understand
birth
that.
certificate, right?
And
And
then you
then
guys will adopt.
our lawyer is hoping within 3 weeks,
Oh,
we will, because we'll have everything ready to
Yeah.
go.
yeah.
Within 3 weeks, we will have a court date in the state of Tennessee. It has to be 2 weeks before she can legally give her rights away. She has that long to change her mind.
She has
Okay.
two.
So
Wait,
2 weeks, yeah,
she's okay.
2 weeks. So so he says about 3 weeks we'll go and she'll give her sign her rights, and I will be considered the legal parent.
Oh my gosh.
But my husband will automatically go on the birth certificate.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Gosh, this is fascinating.
Is
Fascinating.
she married? I have so many questions. Is she?
She is married.
Okay.
So that was the thing was here. So we have to have a DNA test
Okay.
Okay.
because she is married.
Ah,
So but we will have a fast DNA test, so we will have it back within a week.
okay.
And by the time we go to court in the 3 weeks, it will have our ability to prove that it's my husband's and things like
Right.
Got
Okay,
it.
that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Does her husband have to be a part of the contract? Like, does he have legal rights?
that. Because they are married,
Yeah.
until the DNA test is done.
Okay.
Until the DNA
Oh,
test, so it will be
okay.
done right away. We
Okay.
are very lucky. He is he is great. Um, like I said, I call her every day, but he calls every day. He's like, "I love you all."
Oh,
I mean, it's just
oh,
been it has it's been really great. My parents passed away,
oh.
and Chris's mom is still alive, but so her mom, my cousin, is she's been great. She's like, I'm here if you need me, because you don't have that road. She's like, but I don't want to cross anything.
Oh,
And so they've all been very supportive
wow.
and really good. And
Awesome.
so I mean, it's brought us all a lot closer. And
Yeah, I
so,
bet.
um,
Are
yeah.
you a grandma as well?
No, I'm not. I have my two grandsons that passed away, but
Okay,
I
okay.
have no
Okay.
living grandchildren.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So,
Wow,
but I
that
kind of take care of like I love
yeah.
children in general. So like
Yeah.
all my nieces and nephews and all that are very close to me. Like they all come here. So it's been my great nephew. They just had a little girl November the 1st. And of course I was at the hospital and everything. And so it's so funny because I've been sending her messages asking her all things. I'm like, here I am asking a 21-year-old
Oh,
about what products and what they're using and what their setup is. And I'm
right.
like, this is crazy. But like I said, things have changed a lot.
Yes, they
So
have. Yes, they
yeah.
have. Big time. Are you gonna formula or
Well,
is she gonna
I was
pump?
actually trying to induce lactation,
Oh,
but the medicine they were on was causing me to have some heart palpitations. So
okay.
I just stopped that.
okay.
And we are lucky. A friend of ours is going to be having her baby the month before, and she's an overproducer. So she's going to get our stock ready, and then our surrogate will actually pump for us for 6 months.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
that is incredibly generous.
Yeah. I
Wow.
didn't want to ask her because I was like with your girls, and we didn't want to ask and
Yeah.
everything. And then so we were talking, and she was just like, the cost to use a milk bank. She was like, you just so we just decided that we've worked everything out to where she is going to pump, and so we'll have that. But we did, like I said, a friend of ours is going to have us because she's due in the 1st of April. So by the time he's here in May, we'll have a good setup for him.
Oh my,
to
you are
come home.
dialed in, Beth.
I
You have
know.
just got it. You've like touched everything. You're ready. Like, Oh,
I feel like it's kind of crazy. Like we haven't really been doing that much because of the holidays and
yeah.
everything. But then I'm like, oh no, we're halfway there. Like now we really, like,
Yep.
it doesn't seem like it's already been this quick. And so now and my husband is, like I said, he's never had any biological children. And he is so excited, but he is so nervous. Like I drive from here to Nashville every day and back for work. So I'm in a car like 9 hours.
Far.
My husband is amazing. He works nights, but he goes with me every day. He sleeps like 4 or 5 hours and that's it. But he goes with me. When the baby is born, he is going to take over that route too. My son is, since he's a teacher, he's going to do my work for me during the summer, so we can be with the baby the whole summer. So we've got everything kind of done. But it's so funny because every day, all day long, we're like, he's asking questions. He's like, what are we gonna do if this happens? Or what are we gonna do if this happens? Or what if, and I'm like, it's okay, but he's just really excited. And
Great.
his mom doesn't have, she has a grandson, but he's in the Philippines and he's 10 and she's never met him. So
Oh.
she doesn't have any grandchildren that
Is
she
she
has been able to be a part of. And
is she
so
close
it's
by?
great. Yeah, she's close by. So she's excited. She wanted a girl because all she has is two boys,
Oh,
but she's okay that it's a boy now.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh
She's
my.
had all that practice. She's good.
yeah, so she's good.
Oh.
So, so how is your surrogate feeling? Is she doing good? Is she?
Amazing. No morning sickness. I mean,
Oh, wow.
she's had no morning sickness, anything. She
Great.
finally gained a pound last week. She was like, at least I finally gained a pound of weight.
What?
Yeah,
That's it?
she's only gained a pound. She is
Dream.
really doing great.
Wow.
Yeah, like with her girl, she was really big and she's just barely got a belly now. I don't know if you can see, but there's that.
Oh,
And you
Wait.
can,
up a
Up
little.
a little.
There you
do
go.
you see it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, she barely has a bump.
Yeah, so
Oh.
she barely has anything. And she's really just she's so excited. Like she came over the other night and she was like, he seems to like spicy things. So we were trying to give her jalapenos and she's like, he's not gonna move. But
You felt him?
yeah.
Have you felt him kick?
Once we have the bump bracelets.
Okay.
Oh, I love
So yeah, we're doing that. But me and Chris can switch that out and she can do that so we can feel. But we do see each other every week. We go to every doctor's appointment. So
It's awesome. And how are her girls? Do they know what's going on?
it's well, when we first started the journey, I bought the book on Amazon called The Kangaroo Pouch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you. So we bought that and we brought the girls and we read it to them. And like the little one doesn't kind of understand,
Yeah.
but I went to eat lunch with her daughter, with the middle one. And it's so funny. She said, I drew mom a picture of the baby. And I said, you did? And she said, yeah, since he's going to live at your house because he's your baby, we just want to remember him. And I was
Oh,
like, oh,
oh,
they get it. And then the oldest one went with me one day and same thing. She said, hey, and I said, what? She said she wanted a sewing machine for Christmas, and I bought her a sewing machine. And she said, I'm going to make your baby a blanket. And
oh,
so that
so
they totally get.
sweet.
I was worried then that that would be hard, especially her middle child is the most loving
Yeah.
everything, and I was really kind of like, but like they get it. They
Yeah.
seem
Yeah.
to really get it, and they understand. And I think too, a lot of that is, they're not nesting over there. They're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
buying anything. They're
Mhm.
not, it's always, Beth and Chris's baby. So it's for them, it's just that's how they see it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they say that this is going to be their new cousin, and they know that. So
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
yeah.
go.
So
So I think it's great. I think it's so important that the kids know
Yeah.
and how involved they want to be, let them be, and
yeah.
to tell you, hey, we want to remember. They're gonna still see this baby though, right? Yeah.
And that's what she tells them. She's like, he's still your cousin. You're still gonna see him, and he's still gonna be around. And and I think for us, it was just a blessing that we traditional that it worked this way. because, we do have some of my still genetics and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
um, you know, so it's as close as we can get, and it's working out great. So
Oh my gosh.
That-
I'm so just like wowed. Just
yeah.
it's just an amazing situation and scenario
it
there.
really is
Yes.
like I said, when the doctors first told us about home insemination, like
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I'll tell a funny story. Chris had to deliver over to,
Oh
and
yeah.
she was in the shower, and he's like, Junior, and Junior's like, thanks, dude, for the package. Just walks off, and Chris was like, that was, and I was at work, and he was like, that was the weirdest thing ever. He was like, he was
Oh.
like, but Junior was just like, thanks, dude.
Oh,
Oh, how funny.
that's,
Oh,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
so we did it really. I mean, we got the syringes. Everything we got was off Amazon and was prepared. She would come here after the first time because like it's the first time they were on vacation and they were camping. And so, but after the first month, she would come here and she would do that and she would lay up in the room for 30, 40 minutes
there you go.
and then yeah. So
my gosh.
Amazing.
yeah.
It's so
And,
amazing.
and, and if you don't want to discuss, we don't have to, but pretty on the economic side,
Mhm.
kind of affordable as far as no
There
medications, right? And home
no
insemination.
medications. No medications. Now we did use the ovulation, the keg. I don't know if you know what that is.
Uh-huh.
It actually goes inside of you and it does your the mucus, so it knows exactly when you're ovulating. We
Oh,
did use that.
okay.
This is
We did
interesting.
not the first month, but we did after that, and we
Yeah.
got pregnant both times after that, the chemical and then right
Wow.
after. Using that, we knew exactly when. It does your temperature also, so
Wow.
we knew exactly. I mean, we used that. That was probably the most expensive part of the process because it was $200, but you get
Okay.
the software free. You don't have to pay for any of the upkeep of the app or anything. The app is completely free and it gives you your temperature. It does all that. So we did use that.
Yeah.
But the other was we did fresh specimens. She would come here
Yeah.
and he would get the specimen and then we would do the transfer that way. And well, she would do the transfer.
Yeah.
Nobody was involved in that part.
Yeah.
But she would do that and then like I said, would just rest for a while and that was it. So there was economically we have been so blessed.
Yeah. Very fortunate.
She has surrogate friendly insurance.
Oh, even better.
Whoa.
Holy cow.
So we
This
didn't
was
have
meant to
to
be. Like,
yeah, it was not we didn't have to do any of that. Our biggest cost has been our lawyer doing the
yeah.
adoption. But that has been our biggest cost and
Gosh.
um a blessing. It was a blessing for
Yeah.
us. We have done some other things. Like I said, she just genuinely wanted to help and
Most do.
it has been yeah, it's been
Most
just
surrogates do. People,
great.
people, people keep going,
So
what? Why do you want to help? Like
I
most
know.
people, there's in them. It's just in them. They want to help. Mhm.
Beth,
Yeah.
you don't have to answer this. I just know that people might be listening and be like, wait, so is this considered an altruistic surrogacy journey then?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh, I love that. Because she's
It
family.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And it has been, like I said,
Yeah.
it we tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried to do more.
Yeah.
Uh, but she was just insisting on
Oh.
no. And it's been really like I said, it was how it happened.
Mhm.
Um, from sending everything out to like her sister kind of calling and being like, hey, this, and then it was so funny because I called Sharon back and I was like, hey, I'm meeting with your sister tomorrow. And she was like, well, that was quick. I was like, that's what we said. And yeah, so it was just
Have,
meant to be. And,
have
and
you guys,
so
have you talked about how the birth's going to go? Is she going for vaginal? Or does she have to
she
do
is
C?
going,
Okay.
all of her births have been vaginal. She had to be induced all, even like her water broke, but she never progressed naturally. But now once they gave her the medicine to induce her, she was able to have a vaginal birth.
Okay.
So we said everything will probably be different this time. She'll probably go into labor really quick and have a baby quick. But we're she will have a vaginal birth. We will be at the hospital with her. I think her husband is going to be at home with her kids,
Okay.
but her mom, my cousin, will be there with us too. So she has her support person there. We could all be in there.
Okay.
And we'll all be together. There's not a room. We don't want another room. We want her to be. This is without her. None of this is
Wow.
happening.
Yeah.
We want her to be able to have that, to see him, to spend time with him, to spend time with us, because like I said, it has brought us all really close, and we want that to us all to bond together, because we've all come together for the one purpose, was to get him here. And
Wow.
so without her, that wouldn't have happened, and she should enjoy every bit of it with us.
Oh God, do I love that.
I know.
That's honestly.
I know. I say Kennedy's speech on the hour after. I'm like, I couldn't imagine not getting that to someone.
Yeah.
Like for a surrogate to feel that growth inside them. I guess because I have had my own children, and to have that and not be able to give a quick bye, or just a love and embrace of, we
Just
did this, and you're good, and you're here now. Here's your parents,
and
so
to see what you all created, just that outcome, like that's the moment, right? It's
right.
That
And
healthy baby.
especially if you have little ones, and like just be like, look what we all did together, and like
and I
have the
think that
awkwardness.
is
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. We've even said, like, when we leave the hospital, we will take her home. Well, actually, we're going to come bring her here, and Junior's going to bring the girls. Her husband will bring the girls here.
Okay.
And so we just see him here and spend some time with him here, and then they'll go home, and we'll go on. And
I applaud you in that, to allow them to come to your home to see this.
I mean, like I said, from the moment of it, it was, I don't want them to feel like, because especially, like I said, the oldest two, they're very much aware of what goes on.
Right.
And I didn't want them to feel like, women, what just happened? Like, she had this baby in her belly, now it's just gone. And so we didn't want that, and we don't want that. We want them to know. And, so.
Has there been any part of this that has either shocked you in a good way, or been like, oh God, I didn't know that was going to happen, like in a negative way?
Well, like I said, I think the chemical was something we did not expect.
Okay.
A lot of these are people's comments. People just
aren't they
they
nosy?
think that they think I need their information. She's going to change her mind. She's going to change her mind.
They're saying that to you?
Oh, of course.
Do you know these people?
Well, that's the whole point of, I had started blogging my journey, and I took it down.
Okay.
Because of a lot of that. And it's like, well, first of all, she got her handful over there with all this.
Yes.
She don't need mine. But just a lot of that. A lot of people saying, how could I let my cousin, just crazy people.
Yeah.
And it's like, or people say, I don't know how many people say, so you let your husband sleep with your cousin? No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was gonna ask you, Beth,
ignorance.
Is there any stigma that you want to clear up about traditional surrogacy? Because there's all those uneducated people.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, if it had went through the doctor, it would have been the same thing of what we did.
Yes.
Correct.
There was no contact. They were never in the same room as far as when that happened. That's why when I said when she transferred, people asked me all the time, were you there? No, she was in a different room, laying in the bed by herself. We made her as comfortable as she could be. And she would come, stay for an hour and so, and then eat dinner.
There you go.
There you go.
as random as it sounds, it was that normal
Yeah.
to us.
Great.
Yeah, it was weird because like my kids were like, they're kind of like they're older, so they're like, that's weird, but
Sure.
but other than that, it's crazy. People that say stuff about home insemination, I'm like, I know that that's not always a way to go, but if you can try it, and if finances are a reason, and you can try it,
Sure.
first of all, I I applaud you all both for all the medication
Oh,
that you all
Yeah,
had
it's a
to
lot.
take.
yeah.
That is some craziness when you got 50, 60,
Needles,
needles laying there.
right?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So many.
Right.
We were so blessed
Yeah.
that, and and I've had a lot of people. She's had more flashback from people through her church community than we
Oh,
have.
okay.
Okay.
Ours
Interesting.
have been very supportive,
Okay.
but she's had more. I think
Oh,
for her, she was like, I don't know how to express this to our church,
Mm.
and things like that. But I think that was a concern for her. Um, for
yeah.
us, God made a way,
Wow.
Wow.
and I don't think it
Sure
wasn't a
did.
bad way. It wasn't a crazy way.
Mm-mm.
God gives doctors the knowledge to do things differently.
Yep.
So spirituality has been a great thing for us. We prayed for this,
Oh,
and we've prayed through it. We've suffered so much
yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
It's great that things are going good, and this is the way that it just happened to be, and it's working out. And
The way it was supposed to be, right,
we're
Beth?
blessed.
Yep.
We are blessed. And growing up, it's crazy. I had my aunt and uncle had a little boy and they already had 6 kids, so they couldn't take care of him. So my other aunt and uncle adopted him. And
Okay.
so it was the kind of like we all knew that, but
Yeah.
he was always
There.
my aunt and uncle that raised him and adopted him. That was
Yeah.
their son. It was never so, for us it's kind of like we're just repeating something that happened,
Sure.
Yeah.
but this way it's just it is my husband's biological child. Um, and it just like I said, we had went for a failed adoption to where we had everything ready and everything was here, and then it failed. Um,
Ugh.
so we had done that, and then and then like I said, we had a surrogacy that didn't happen, and this just kind of literally from the time our match with our other surrogacy dropped, within a month we was already doing our first transfer with Paige. It
Wow.
was like,
Crazy.
and it just fell in our lap.
Yeah.
So
With this first surrogate that didn't, was that independent? And
it was independent, and she was a traditional. I found her.
okay.
And like I said, it was just a lot of red flags
Yeah.
of wanting. There was drama where drama did not need to be,
Sure.
and
Yep.
we
Yeah.
saw this before we had even tried to do the first transfer,
Good.
and we were just like,
No.
Good.
"Mm."
Good.
Yeah, there was like some drama with her with my grown children, like
Oh,
saying things that would offend them. Uh, it was just a bad situation.
sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm blessed that we did not go through with. I'm so blessed because I could
Right.
imagine how the whole
Oh,
Right.
pregnancy would have
yeah.
been,
Different.
Right.
and things like that. I hear so many stories of good and bad
Yeah.
journeys
Yeah.
that I'm blessed that we're having a great one. I think that, for the surrogate too, you want them to be peaceful and to have no stress. So
Yeah.
if if you're going into a stressful situation anyway, it's not good for
Anybody.
us, it's not good for them. So I
Mm-mm.
think that, like I said, we were just blessed that it didn't work.
Yeah.
Um, we're so thankful that it didn't go through. And so now we're kind of like this. My sisters and them are still at the whole thing of you're old and you're you're doing this all again.
Old.
They're like
You're not old.
they're like, but I'm like,
You're
my
not.
oldest sister, my mom was 40 when she had me.
Okay.
My oldest sister was 43 when she had my niece. Like her daughter, her oldest daughter is the same age as me. And then we have, so she's 49 with a 25-year-old sister. So,
Funny.
that,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
You don't have
my,
to justify it. You
Yeah,
don't have
heck
to
no.
justify that, Beth. You're gonna
right.
be
So,
you're
I think
already
that's
proved you can be a mom. You
Yeah.
yeah,
already did, girl.
it's a lot of it, and it's so funny because my husband, the guys he works with, they're having children too now, and they're all funny because they're like, Chris is like a grandpa having a baby, and Chris
Oh,
is younger than me. He's 5 years younger than me, but but
Like
he's so
winning.
excited, and all his friends are keeping up with how many weeks she are, and
oh,
like
that's so
everything, like
sweet.
they like all of them have known the whole. Everybody has known the whole journey, so
I love it that you're
I
so
know.
open about it,
Open.
you know,
Yes.
because you can
yeah,
get backlash, like you said,
my
especially
kids
traditional.
my kids were kind of worried because they're like,
Mm.
Mom, you're so open with it. What if when he gets older, he's like, you're not my mom? And I'm like, you know what? Adopted children could say mean things like that. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm
it doesn't
adopted.
matter.
I'm
Yeah,
adopted, Beth, and my parents are my parents, the ones who raised
exactly.
me.
And so I say that all the time. I'm like, I just see people that have a better relationship with someone that raised them
Yeah,
Yeah.
than what
yeah,
they would have ever had.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And
don't even look for that trouble.
so
Yeah.
I think
Mm-mm.
that was probably my youngest son's biggest fear was that he was like, "You're
Oh,
so open with it. I don't want people to come back and hurt your feelings." He was that,
Yeah,
but he
trying to
fair.
is.
shield you. Hmm.
Yeah.
I love him to
Protect
death.
you.
Yeah.
He's my baby, and he's been my baby for 20. Well, getting ready to be 24 years. His
And
birthday.
he's given up that
Maybe.
spot,
I
isn't he?
know.
Yeah. And so, and he's like, it's really not like I am because I always know like me and you will have a different thing. Like me and him go
For
on trips
sure.
together.
Yeah.
We go.
Yeah.
We went to Vegas and we drove back just so we could have more time together. So
You
Okay.
drove
yeah,
from Vegas? We live right by
We
Vegas.
live
So
right by Vegas.
you drove to
girl,
Vegas?
I drive to Arizona all the time because I go out there, and I would rather drive than fly anytime. And I
Really?
love it. Yeah.
Golly.
So like we and him spend a lot of time together, but I think that was it. He's so worried about people. He's like, I don't want anybody to hurt my mom's feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you thank you. But yeah, so I think that was his concern. But really, I kind of just I got very from our family. Um, my oldest sister really doesn't talk to me much about it, but my other sister's just like, hey, that's your all's life, and if that's what you all want. And then I think
Yeah.
everybody's excited for Chris. Chris is a wonderful dad to my children.
Oh,
Um, and he is amazing with a provider and things like that. So,
Sweet.
and I'm just excited to watch him
yeah.
be able to experience it too. So,
Right. For
I have
sure.
I have two quick questions for you.
okay,
One of them is Tennessee considered a bit more conservative when it comes to surrogacy then? If because you said her
yes.
church doesn't really welcome there's as she's the surrogate, right?
Yeah, I think that they we've heard that she went out of her marriage that for how dare her to carry another man's child,
Wow.
Okay.
things like that. So
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
definitely we're in the Bible Belt. We are definitely
Yeah.
in the
They
Bible
are.
Belt,
I
Big
knew
time.
that, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
and they like to tell you that.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
So I think that that's it. Even I think we even had a couple of family members was like, isn't that weird? Like, to her husband, and he's like, no, it's not like anything's inappropriate happening or
Right.
Oh,
anything. And so, I think that that's it. I think that just people want to judge and they want to
Yeah.
express their feelings, and then, but I think for me, it's not even about like that this is a weird thing. This is if I had adopted a child, this would have came in the same way.
Yes.
right.
If and it was the best. For a long time, me and Chris had a lot of communication problems, and he loved my children, but he wouldn't express to me. He always told me it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And finally, one day, he was like, "This is something I really want." And he knows how I feel. Like he knew I wanted it, but it was always for me.
Mm.
And then when it was for him, I think it was God's time to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because when it was expressed that this is something he wanted, and we really started, this is what then it was a blessing for all of us. So
Yeah.
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 And you had mentioned adoption, and I wanted to touch on this because I'm sure, because you're on social media from time to time, so I'm sure you hear it quite often through the community. I'm not going to say the community, it's not through the community, it's through outsiders of the community. And they're constantly saying, why don't people just do adoption? Well, in your case, you guys did try to do adoption.
Yeah.
And
We did try to do adoption.
yeah, but
You
it's
know,
not
and
easier.
it's not. And if we had done traditional surrogacy with someone that wasn't family, it would have been, our bond would have been the same. It would have been whatever. If we had adopted a child that was, that wasn't either of our child, or we had nothing to do with it, and we did try that with a family member that had lost her children, we were going to take them. I mean, we tried many, many options. It wasn't like this was not it. But like I said, when I sat down and sent, I used to be a makeup artist here, and I had an accident, so I don't do that. So I had quite a bit of large following on my community page.
Okay.
And when I set out and sent 4,000 friends the same message,
Wow.
never did I think that my cousin would be like, hey,
Yeah.
I want to do this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
hey, this is going to happen. And she's 30 minutes away. We see each other. We're together. Her daughter's birthdays. We share family
God.
events. So never did I think this was happening. And so,
Meant to be this way. It really is.
yeah.
It's
And
meant.
so, and I hear a lot of people say that, am I worried I'm not going to bond with the child? And
No.
I bond with my dogs, and I did not give birth to them.
Oh my gosh, that is the most perfect analogy ever. I'm
But
using that for eternity.
if you're a pet mama, do you not feel that way about
Love
your
it.
pet? Like you love your
Love
pet,
it.
and you're like, I'm going to nurture it, and I'm going to take care of it, and I'm going to bathe it, and I'm going to feed it, and I'm going to do all these things every day.
God.
So
It's
why
true.
would I not do that for a baby
A
that
baby.
we have prayed and wanted for so much? So I don't feel like that, and I know that it sounded bad, like I was comparing a baby to a dog, and I wasn't.
No,
But
No,
the
I
what
didn't
I'm
take it
analogy.
saying
that
is,
way.
if you are a dog mama,
Yeah,
that's what you had, and
that's
you
your
know
baby.
that.
Yep, that's your
That's
baby.
your baby,
Mhm.
and you're going
Yep.
to take care of it. So I believe that
Absolutely.
that's how I feel, and I'm that way with all my nieces and nephews. Like, I'm their aunt mom, so that's how they feel, and I've taken care of all of them, and so.
Can I ask when this little guy gets old enough to understand, will he know the journey of his birth?
He will.
Okay.
My kids are kind of iffy about that. They're like, Mom, that scares us. But he's ours, and how he got here is a blessing, and and so we will know. I mean, do we have to tell him? No.
Yeah.
I'll be on the birth certificate, all of this.
Yep.
But I would never want someone else to tell.
Yeah.
Right.
I would never want, because our family does know we're very open.
Mhm.
Social media stays up there forever. I've been
Yep.
very open about the process. So yes, we would definitely, she's his belly buddy, and that's how
Yeah.
that'll be. And she's family, she's cousin,
Talk about
and
dog
that's how
mom.
that'll be. But she carried him safely and made sure he got here for us to love and have. So
Yeah.
yes, we would
That's
definitely.
great. That's great.
Beth, if somebody comes to you and says, Beth, I'm looking into surrogacy, like what is your advice for them?
Well, because of you,
Oh,
I will. I mean, I have listened to every podcast, so I think I will.
thank you.
But I have literally, because when I first started, first started, everybody told me, they were like, "That's, you were listen and see," and I will tell them that there is bad ways and good ways, but if someone can give you that blessing, and I think if I could have a million children for a million people that couldn't, I would.
Oh.
I think that it takes a special person that will even do that. Um, just like I think that people that say that you don't deserve to be compensated, you give up your life so we could bring in a child for us to love. There's no greater gift than that. So definitely I would say go for it. If you know,
Mm.
if you can do that, adoption is great.
Yeah.
Adoption, I have nothing against that. But there is just, some people just want to, all they want is to have their own child.
Yeah.
And if there's a way to get that done and they can afford it,
Yep.
which is, the sad part is so many people can't.
Right.
But so many people can. And
Mhm.
if it can happen, but I do say be informed.
Yeah.
I've heard so many bad stories of agencies and
Yeah.
bad things. I think that you have to do your homework,
Yeah.
just like, I mean, I've done homework on this for years and never thought that we would be a point to get it done and things like that. So I think that to definitely just do your homework and learn and not stop learning. Build a community, talk to people. I talk to
Yeah.
so many people. It's crazy because, on TikTok, they're all like, I'm the traditional one. That's what they say. And I'm like, I have purple hair and have tattoos all over. I've never been a traditional person in my life, but I
You're
get
the
called the
traditional
traditional.
one.
Oh my God. But it's because that's our journey. And I understand. But it's so funny because I'm like,
That is
that's
funny because you
hilarious.
don't hear very many
No.
traditional journeys. You do not.
And
They're
I
You,
understand because, like I said, if it
yeah.
was a stranger, I think I would probably be nervous the
Yeah.
whole time. I would be nervous until the adoption went through and
Right.
everything. So I mean I love that. I feel like I don't have that fear.
Yeah.
Good.
I feel
Excellent.
like I truly don't feel like I have that fear at all, and so
Great.
that's a great thing
Yes.
because I feel like. But I think that surrogacy is an amazing opportunity,
Mhm.
and if like I said, I think going into anything, you need to be well informed. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I
And
would feel about it.
to piggyback on that, it's an amazing opportunity for both sides.
Yeah.
Like surrogates and intended parents, we get a lot out of it too. And I'm not just saying the financial aspect of it.
Right.
We get there's a feeling there. There's a that aha moment where you just helped somebody create a family. Like
Mhm.
you can't, I want to say you can't buy that, but
But you can't find that anywhere
you
else.
just can't go to a vending machine and push a button and go, oh, I got that feeling, right?
Yesterday I read someone had a comment yesterday about why do you have to have children to become a surrogate?
Right.
Oh, okay.
And there were so many different answers about. Well, first of all, they want to know that you have that loving ability and all this, but
Hmm.
so many people that don't want children, they don't have that motherly innate
Right.
nurture in them. And
Right.
if you've experienced that yourself
Mhm.
and you have a heart,
Yep.
and so many, the gestational carriers, so many of them have such a heart to want to give that feeling to someone else.
Right.
That is truly what I see. Almost every surrogate I've talked to, I can honestly say, and I've talked to a lot of people. Maybe one or two has been a financial gain,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still wanting to give that.
Right.
Right.
But 98% is they
Wow.
want to give someone else that feeling that
Yeah.
they have had when they had their own children.
100%.
And I don't think that no money can buy that. If you don't
Mm-mm.
have that will to give that gift, you're not going to do that.
Right.
Exactly.
So I think it's amazing that you could do that. I think that, for you to have done it so long ago
Yeah.
and and,
Tradition, traditional surrogacy was a thing when I did it. And you were
right.
asked, do you want to do
Yeah.
traditional or do you not? And my genes are so strong that I said, there's no way I can do traditional because it will be like little Ellens running around and I can't do it. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we're going through right now because all of Paige's kids, all her girls look like her.
Just
They
like,
look
Wow.
very much like her.
yeah.
And so I told my husband, I'm like, they're gonna look, that's okay though. I mean,
All
that's
right.
fine. But it's funny because now I think my kids are realizing that they're like, we just went to her oldest daughter's birthday party and they were like, Mom, like she looks a lot like her, so it's funny. But yeah, so I think that,
Yeah.
it's like she doesn't have any boys, so we won't know what that is
There,
like. But
there
yeah,
you go.
but it is funny that we wonder about that. But
Yeah.
like I said, for you to have done that then
Mm.
and triplets and that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That was the best
That's
pregnancy I
crazy.
ever had was my triplet pregnancy. And it wasn't because they were triplets. It was because I did not work. I was concentrating on being pregnant the entire time. So it was just a different magical thing.
No
And for
stress.
all three, right?
And
Yeah.
I'll be very honest. This is kind of great because I was very sick from the day I got pregnant to the day I had my children.
Oh my
I
God.
had all my children early, 33 weeks, 35 weeks, 36 weeks. So they were all early. And my youngest son had his feeding tube when he was 13.
Oh,
He and he still has, he's a teacher and he has autoimmune problems. So he's, he deals with that. But this is the best pregnancy I've ever had.
right?
That's fair.
So,
You're
yeah,
gonna bring a
I'm all-
newborn home and not be,
I do.
you'll be tired, but you won't have that added of, hey, I just gave birth. Oh my
Yeah.
God, what am I gonna do?
Right.
I
Yeah.
have heartburn every day. And
Oh.
I tell her that. I'm like, every day. She's like, I'm so glad you do because I don't. And I'm like, it kills me every day. But
Sympathy
I'm
heartburn.
not sick. I don't,
Yeah.
It's
So,
great.
But-
God, I'm so excited for you
I
guys.
know.
So excited.
Beth,
I
it is,
know.
it's so amazing. And something that you said, people get in, like, the best thing for them is to do their homework. And you get to add yourself to that now because this is great homework for people. And so,
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
very much a hard thing to find. Traditional surrogacy, like I could not find any information.
Oh.
And that was the whole point of why we wanted to do something with our journey was I wanted people to know.
Yeah.
I'm in a group with a lot of people that still look for traditional surrogacy.
Oh,
A lot of it is, I think, same-sex couples just
Oh, sure.
yeah.
don't want to choose whose sperm to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they'll use a sperm bank and a traditional donor, and it's whatever works for whatever person.
Yeah.
But so many people on there make matches, but you don't hear about it. Like you just don't hear about it anymore. And it is a scary thing. And I understand, especially like being here, we couldn't do a free birth plan and things
Right.
like that. So that's, you're taking that chance. And I definitely say if you're doing a traditional search, I would say don't jump in like we did. Like we jumped in, but we knew her. We knew her life. We
Right.
knew
Yeah.
everything
She's
about her.
great.
But I think that that's something for doing a traditional thing is really get to know someone,
Yeah.
have that relationship, and make sure that first of all, is this the person I would want to carry my child, but is this the person that I want to biologically
Be related.
be? I
Yes.
think that's a big thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's a
Look
lot.
at that.
Yeah.
God, I'm so excited. I'm
know.
so excited for you guys.
When's the due date?
Yeah, May.
May the 31st.
May 31st. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so she's had all her babies between 38 and 39 weeks. So
Okay.
we're
Okay, so
expecting to go all the way.
Okay.
Hey, so
We're
I guess maybe off the cuff, but in Tennessee, technically you, Beth, are adopting and he's technically baby. You're both. Do you guys get like maternity time, right? Like bonding time?
Yes, because he will be on the original birth certificate.
Okay.
Here, what they will do is they will put him on the birth certificate.
Uh-huh.
Now, when we go and because we are doing a paternity test,
Okay.
he does get to go on the birth certificate.
Okay.
And so automatically he will get time.
Okay.
I am a private contractor, so I won't. But like I said, it'll be at this school. So my son is going to do my work, so me and my husband can have all of our days with the baby. At least, like I said, Chris has never done a baby thing, so
Oh, he's gonna be a
like,
natural.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
He's
Oh,
gonna
and
be.
that's what I tell him. I was like, once he's here, you're going to be so great. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we got the ultrasound, and we have the teddy bear that has, well, it's a sloth, but it has the heartbeat in it. Our dogs are scared to death of this thing. Every time we
That's
play the
good.
heartbeat, they run.
But hey, at least they don't try to chew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but the sloth looks just like Chris, so we put Chris's glasses on it, and I'm like, this is what your baby's gonna look like. And, so he's been doing a lot of YouTube videos on babies, and it's just fun to watch. So, but
God,
he's
I don't even
gonna
know
do
him, and I
great.
love him. I don't even know your husband. I
He's
think he's
good.
fantastic.
He's gonna do great. So
He is. You're both gonna do great. It's gonna be such a magical time. Oh, so excited.
You have such a village. Oh
Yeah.
we do, and like I said, I'm blessed that I have all my kids here, and they are all very helpful and
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 in the event that your surrogate is her name Paige,
Yes.
that she's gonna listen to this, 100%,
Well,
1,000,000%.
we're gonna listen to it together. Me, her, and Chris are gonna all sit down and listen together. So
I just want to do a shout out to her to
Yeah.
say thank you for
Yeah.
doing this for Beth. And just thank you for doing
Traditional
for the community.
surrogacy.
Like traditional surrogacy is, maybe it'll come back a little bit more. Maybe there'll be a little bit more of a push for it when people hear these beautiful stories, because it's not
I think a
negative.
lot is it could just happen. Like I said, it did just fall into our lap. But I think a lot of people, I think the stigmatism of
Yep.
the whole thing of that's their baby and they could take that baby. And
Right.
I say what was it, the made for TV movies where they had all these things about women changing their mind, and that scared people. So that was like a very scary thing, of course.
Yeah.
And that is a scary thing. But I think, like I said, I am in so many traditional groups that it is amazing the women that still want to help and want to do that. But and it is, a lot of that is an independent thing, and it's getting to know someone. And I think that it's a great way, and it is, if there's ways to cut costs.
Yeah.
And it's ways to give someone, if you have someone that is close to you that wants to help you, it's so just rewarding of what you get from it. But yeah, a lot of people are just like, home insemination just doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, yes, it does. And there's things you can do to get that to work and to make it work and save $10,000.
Yeah. I had a friend when I was doing surrogacy, she did the traditional route and I did gestational. And what she said to me, and it stuck, was, I'm losing an egg every month anyway, so why not help somebody with it? And I'm like, you know what? Good for you. Yes, that's exactly right. You're losing it anyway. Why not help somebody? So,
and that's a great thing, because we had even talked about her being our egg donor and then doing the embryo.
Okay.
And so we agreed that we were going to try for 6 months. And if that didn't happen, then, and literally, like I said, she ended up having the 2 periods. And as soon as her little peg, because I had the app too, it told us, and she came that day, and we went ahead and we did the transfer, and we did every day, even on her mid to high days, we still did.
Okay.
But she conceived that very first day, and that we tried again, and we were only like 8 days past ovulation. And she called me and she said, I know I said I wasn't going to. She said, but she said, I don't know if this is continued from our last chemical. She's like, but she's like, I got it. And so I was like, okay, well, let's just take them for a week. Let's not worry about it. Well, she did. And then the day that she was supposed to have her period, we went to the doctor, and we did her beta, and it came back and it was 598. And we were like, okay, we're good to go, because we had never even got that high. Yeah. And then the doctor told us, he was like, you can come back in 2 days and we'll see. And we went back in 2 days and we were at 21. And so we were like, oh, wait a minute. Wow. We quadrupled.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, wait a minute. What if she has to? Because her mom is a twin.
Oh.
There's twins everywhere. And so we were like, okay, what if? And the doctor was like, you know what? I don't think you need to come back for another beta. He was like, we are good.
You're
come
good.
back in. He was like, come back in 2 weeks and we'll do an ultrasound. And
oh my gosh.
We went back for the ultrasound. We already had a heartbeat. So we had a heartbeat at 5 weeks. So
wow,
yeah.
Strong baby.
It was great. So
oh my god,
that little guy. He's gonna bring so much joy to everyone.
And his name is Race, because we feel like we've been on a roller coaster of
What's his name?
Race. RAYCE. So yeah.
I love it. So cute.
That's sweet. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Beth, congratulations to you and your whole family.
Thank
and
you.
Chris.
Yeah.
Same for Chris.
Chris.
Yes,
congrats, Papa.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute, you might be able to see him in here, but no.
Okay.
He's on the other side. But yeah, so it's funny because my kids, like I said, they come out here and they write messages. So all these messages on the board over here are all to the baby. So y'all writing messages and things, and we're just very blessed. So.
Yeah. Yep, that'd be the word. I just and
Beth,
rightfully so. Rightfully so, Beth.
I hope you get back to blogging either after, if you don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable during, like, because this story is just so fascinating. I
amazing.
want to know more. Like, I
know it's kind of like I'm like every time I listen to myself, I'm like that sounded crazy, so I erase it. No, and I've talked to people, they're like, just start, and once you start, people, because it is like I said, the whole thing of just the traditional is so hard to find information about.
Yeah. This whole thing's so beautiful.
Really
well, thank you so much for reaching out and coming on. This is just phenomenal. Like I
was kind of concerned when I reached out because I was like, I didn't know if you would even be interested with it being a traditional. So I was like, I'm gonna send this message. And so when you messaged back, I told Chris, I was like, well, I guess that still work. Okay. Yeah, we'll get it out. We'll get the
oh my gosh. Everybody who messages, I always get back to them. I try to do it within 24 hours, but sometimes I can't. But anybody who wants to come on, we always
So how are you going in your next journey? Are we on hold for a little bit?
We're
not dancing right now. Huh?
No, you're good. You're good. No, we're just chilling. It's been a roller coaster.
To say the least. Yikes.
Yeah. So it's all good. Everything happens on its own time.
You only have one son, right? You have one.
I have one. So I have my son, and then I had 3 other babies for 3 different couples.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just the one for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck on your next journey if that's meant to be, and thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is wonderful.
Give us an update when the little guy gets here.
I will.
I will. I told that birth
Chris
story.
Chris was like, they don't want to talk to me, and I was like, I'm sure they would love to talk to you.
Oh my God, Chris, absolutely.
Him and you to come on.
Shy, and he's so shy, and he was like, no, I really kind of want to, and I was like,
okay. 100%. We'll talk, and absolutely. You know, we've talked to one intended father. Well, besides my mom's, I can't count my mom's. Because that's okay. That's biased. But
they kind of get around, huh?
Yeah.
Because his perspective on the whole thing, men take it in a little differently, you know, and to hear them vocalize it sometimes is very insightful. It's amazing what they think, but sometimes don't vocalize, right?
He is so laid back, and it's so funny because like every time we go there, she always talks about the baby being laid back, and we're like, well, we know where it gets that. Like, we are not in day. Like, he's quiet and just calm, and I'm like out there everywhere. You know?
Oh my gosh. No, Beth, I will reach out and we'll get him on.
Both
if he really wants to, we are so happy to have him.
Oh.
And you can sit with him if that makes him feel more comfortable.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
You too. All right.
Happy birthday for the baby when it comes. Happy
birthday. And I will let you all know how that goes.
Yes, please
do. Please do. Enjoy every moment.
Thanks.
Bye, Beth.
Thank you so much. Bye, Beth. Bye. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I could literally sit here for another hour and just let her keep talking about her.
I was like, is the husband home? Get him in here. I want to talk to him.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. Part two.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
You know, okay, I'm going to be straight up.
Okay.
I was a little like, oh, I wonder how traditional surrogacy conversation is going to go. I'm just like, because it's just so, one, there's not a lot of information on it. So it's, you know what I mean? So I was very like, this could go one of two ways. Like,
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And I
think
this is like so fascinating.
It just all she
clicks.
So much loss, so much heartache.
Oh, I know.
Then it just went boom and came to a point. Like,
I know.
72 days from the day she said, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody."
It's crazy. 72.
It's like over
like it's family. Like we could go on and
I know.
Journey in so many different ways because like the family is like
so cool,
so loving.
Way to go, Paige. Way to go to reach out, Paige. Seriously. I honestly, that's a huge give. Huge give. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, huge.
Yeah, huge. Mm-hmm. Oh. And her husband and her 3 kids. Like, oh God, just thumbs up, Paige. Thumbs up. Okay.
No, I know.
Okay,
This
sorry.
is just so fun. Just what a feel good. What a way to start off recording in 2024. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Beth.
Yes.
So much.
It was awesome.
And Beth, you're such a lovely person and you
Ah.
talk so well. Thank you so much for I could just keep complimenting. That's how like cloud
Yeah.
nine I feel about this story.
I wasn't going to go to the gym, and now after hearing that, I'm pumped. I'm going.
Oh, you're pumped. Oh, you're
I'm going.
pumped.
Mhm.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
eat. Okay. Okay. Well, if anybody would like to share their story, anybody, please don't feel afraid to reach out. If you have a story, you have every right to share it, and we are here to let you share it. So please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Stop.Sit.Surrogate.
And this has been another edition of Stop, Sit, Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.